Hello and welcome back to JKernifer Astrology. Today we're here to talk about the full cold moon in Cancer on Boxing Day, December 26th, 2023. The name for any full moon occurring in the month of December is the cold moon, the long night moon, or the oak moon, because it coincides with the winter solstice, which is the shortest day and longest night of the calendar year, initiating winter in the northern hemisphere, 12/21. The December full moon gets its name from the extreme cold characteristic of the final calendar month of the year. It annually seeks for you to pause and reflect on what sets your soul ablaze. As we prepare to plant new seeds of intention and New Year's resolutions during the next 2 weeks for both the new year and the Capricorn new moon on 1/11/2024. This December cold full moon 2023 is happening 4 degrees of the constellation Cancer, opposing the sun at 4 degrees Capricorn on December 26th, 2023, Boxing Day. This features an opposition along the Cancer Capricorn axis of opposition. More specifically, this full moon features an opposition between the sun in Capricorn answering to Saturn, because Saturn rules Capricorn energy and any placements in Capricorn, opposite or working against a strong, because it's in its sign of rulership, moon in Cancer, feeling deeply sensitive and sentimental. The Cancer Capricorn axis of opposition seeks to bridge the gap between the past, Cancer energy, and the future, Capricorn energy. Saturn is Kronos, named after the Roman god of agriculture, symbolic of reaping the rewards of a harvest earned after putting in consistent effort tending to one's crops over time. In mythology, Saturn, Saturnus in Roman or Kronos in Greek, was the father of Jupiter, Zeus. Saturn was named after the Roman god of agriculture, Saturnus, which is derived from the Latin word serere, to sow or to plant seeds, and Kronos, the Greek Titan god of time, evil, and harvest. Saturn rules things like karma, especially karmic lessons involving restriction, time, boundaries, responsibility, accountability, hard work, integrity, and determination or ambition. Saturn also rules agriculture and the cardinal initiating earth sign, Capricorn. Saturn also represents things like authority, disciplinary figures, father figures, bosses. But Saturn is not a bad guy, nor is he out to get you. Once we're able to look past any underlying sensitivity to criticism and focus on the lesson, it becomes clear that what Saturn really wants is to elevate us to our highest potential. Saturn only delivers karma to those who are out of alignment. It brings rewards for hard work, practicing self-discipline, and embodying personal accountability. Full moons indicate completion or closure and are symbolic of completing a 6-month cycle, the seeds for which were planted under the corresponding new moon 6 months ago. This new moon was the Cancer new moon that occurred on July 17th, 2023. The Cancer new moon on July 17th, 2023 featured an alignment between the sun and moon, 24 degrees Cancer, and coincided with the north node and south node points of fate and destiny, changing signs, kicking off a new 18-month collective karmic cycle, with this one specifically involving implementing healthy, balanced boundaries with others as we shed unhealthy patterns of conflict avoidance, people-pleasing, codependency, passive aggression, and any underlying workaholic or emotionally avoidant, escapist, or addictive tendencies. 24 degrees is a degree point associated with Neptunian and Piscean energy, which has everything to do with dreaming and imagining, holding the vision. Holding on to vision as we collectively lean into greater empathy and compassion, but not so far as into complete emotional overwhelm. This new moon featured a rare astrological pattern called the Yod, or finger of God, pointing at Venus, just a few days before Venus went retrograde for the first time to begin and end in the sign of Leo since the 1700s. The Yod is a triangular pattern featuring 2 sets of quincunxes, 150-degree angles, uncomfortable points between the apex planet and each of the bases of the triangle, with the bases of the triangle forming sextiles working harmoniously in tandem together. In this case, The Yod featured two slow-moving outer planets, Neptune and Pluto, which, fun fact, are still in a supportive sextile to one another because the two move so slowly. This means that Pluto, the planet of destruction and deep personal transformation, and Neptune, the planet representing where our collective subconscious energy resides, are working together, helping to uncover and heal deep emotional patterns and wounding, any tendencies towards self-sabotage, and any limiting beliefs that disempower. You may also notice quite a lot of flooding throughout 2023, but especially late winter, early spring, and again, under this energy now. Only did the North and South node of Fate and Destiny change signs, kickstarting a new 18-month karmic collective cycle. This featured a rare and powerful Grand Cardinal Cross, which is a rare pattern involving two pairs of oppositions and four sets of squares, 90-degree pressure points that are usually experienced internally and indicate a need for integration of seemingly conflicting energies. This is an incredibly powerful aspect, in this case featuring the Sun and Moon aligned 24 degrees Cancer, working in opposition against Pluto retrograde at the critical Plutonic 29th degree of Capricorn, answering to Saturn in Pisces, facing a square against the opposition that's occurring between the North node of Fate and Destiny and the South node of Fate and Destiny at the critical energetic 29th degree of their respective signs, Aries and Libra. 29th degree Capricorn point, where Pluto is again under the energies of this video, the December full cold Cancer moon on Boxing Day 12/26/2023. 29 degrees Capricorn offers a point of deep reflection and personal transformation as it relates to our career or long-term soul legacy and purpose. Cardinal Cross featured cardinal energies, initiating energies. The cardinal signs all initiate a season. I'll break it down. Winter is initiated by Capricorn. Spring is initiated by Aries, cardinal fire. Summer is initiated by Cancer, cardinal water. And autumn is initiated by Libra, cardinal air. And the 29th degree is all about seeing the seed of opportunity within every ending. There are no endings, only new beginnings. North node of Fate and Destiny traveled from 0 degrees of Venus-ruled Taurus, where it had been since early January 2021, and into 29 degrees of Mars-ruled Aries, with Chiron, the asteroid of deep soul wounding, where the two will travel together until January 2025, providing opportunities to heal wounds of abandonment, independence, assertion, self-sufficiency, and autonomy. You may also notice a lot of strikes occurring during 2023, but kickstarting really with Venus retrograde in the summer with the Hollywood strike, followed by an automobile industry strike, and several others as we carried into Sagittarius energies and the energies of the Mercury retrograde, changing signs between Capricorn and Sagittarius. The North node of Fate and Destiny will always be the South node of karmic or past life Fate and Destiny. The South node of past life karmic Fate and Destiny traveled from 0 degrees of Pluto and Mars ruled Scorpio to 29 degrees of Venus ruled Libra, where it will remain slowly traveling from 29 degrees Libra, July 2023, to 0 degrees Libra, January 2025, helping us shed collective patterns of overgiving to receive love and affection, depending too much on the opinions of others, praise or admiration, conflict avoidance, people-pleasing, and codependency. Under this new moon in Cancer, that grand cardinal cross involving Pluto, the North and South nodes of Fate and Destiny, and that Yod with Venus, right as it was about to retrograde through Leo, just in time for that Hollywood strike. We planted seeds of intention involving this vision that we were holding for our long-term future and legacy, realizing what we are capable of and what we deserve, and stepping into the energy needed to attain it. You to look through your old notebooks, look through your old journals, your photo albums to mid-July 2023 and see what was going on for you under those energies. I'm going to list a few more dates for you as well. But before I do, just 2 weeks ago, we planted new seeds of intention for an optimistic future under the Sagittarius new moon on the 12/12 portal, December 12th, 2023. This helped initiate the final Mercury retrograde for 2023. We know that if we can dream it, we can achieve it, which is the energy we're carrying into this full cold Cancer moon on Boxing Day, December 26th, 2023. Equinoxes, eclipses, and solstices are peak energy points, and with this one coinciding with the winter solstice that just occurred on 12/21, this is reigniting the energies of the full moon lunar eclipse that occurred in late October, 5 degrees Taurus. This full moon also coincides, it's no coincidence, with Jupiter stationing retrograde at that very same degree point, 5 degrees 55 minutes of Taurus. Here's the list of dates to look back through. October 28th, 2023, that was the full moon lunar eclipse that occurred at 5 degrees Taurus. July 17th, 2023, that is when the North and South Node, the points of fate and destiny, changed signs, traded rulers as well while they were trading signs. And you can look as far back to the Mercury retrograde we had in late April and into mid-May 2023, which stationed direct at, again, 5 degrees Taurus, where Jupiter is stationing direct in a few days on December 30th, 2023. This is like the universe telling you, hey, there's something happening at 5 degrees Taurus and I want you to pay attention here. Back to the December Cancer cold moon. The full moon in its sign of rulership in Cancer indicates that the completion, closure, resolution, or truth that's coming to light that we're facing is coming to a head emotionally. This is because Cancer is a highly sensitive and intuitive sign, especially in the early degrees within the first third or 10 degrees of Cancer. First 10 days of Cancer season, this would apply as well, which is both ruled and sub-ruled by the very sensitive moon. The Cancer archetype is that of the mother, nurturer, or mothering energy, and it has everything to do with our home, our family, our ancestral lineage, emotional security, what we need for emotional comfort and self-soothing, national security, nationalism, and the past, with Cancer being a very nostalgic and sentimental energy. This full moon in Cancer, therefore, may bring a return from the past and an opportunity to practice unconditional love and forgiveness. Remember, it's coinciding with a Mercury retrograde, which can tend to bring run-ins with past people, especially with the South Node point of past life or karmic fate, opportunities to heal relationships with people that maybe we didn't leave on such good terms, and we have regrets about that. Cancer is symbolized by the glyph of the crab, which sidesteps, has claws that cling, and a hard exterior protecting a very soft, sensitive interior. This is symbolic of Cancer's tendency to have a very soft interior with a protective hard shell or exterior. I would say the same is true for Capricorn energy, which is symbolized by the goat, but if you look back through ancient texts and ancient depictions of the goat was actually a sea goat, so it had a mermaid tail, indicating that deep below its stoic exterior, Capricorn energy has deep emotions. It just may not feel comfortable expressing them, and it may not be in touch with them enough to have self-awareness of what those are, and it may need help. Cancer also rules moodiness and emotional sensitivity, the past, and a nostalgia for it, nurturing empathy and compassion, security, home, homeland security, nationalism, border security, increased focus on home and family, deep appreciation for home and family, and opportunities to heal any underlying ancestral karma, generational karma, and look into one's Akashic records. If you have any familial karma, especially karma with the mother, you will need to address and resolve it, or else face continuous cycles with other people that you mirror attract to you to heal with that source, to get you ready to heal with that source, essentially. So you might as well go right to the source and heal it. There's truly no place like home for the holidays, especially this time of the year, as we wrap up the highly capitalistic and materialistic holidays and prepare for the new year. A great time to pause and reflect upon any overspending, overindulging from the past few weeks, when the sun was answering to Jupiter, weakened in Taurus because it was in opposition to its ruler, Venus, debilitated in Scorpio, which I'll get into later on. With this full moon coinciding with the new year and a Mercury retrograde changing signs, symbolic of a change of heart, mind, or direction, especially as it relates to, in Capricorn, our long-term plans, goals, or ambitions. And with the new moon in Capricorn in just 2 weeks on January 11th, 2024, angel number 111, it's asking us to reflect on what new structures, routines, disciplines, and habits we could implement for better grounding and greater success and happiness as we plant positive seeds of intention for the next calendar year with our New Year's resolutions. The full moon in Cancer energy beckons us home, inviting us to indulge in the comforts of self-care and deep reflection as we tend to our emotional waters. Retrograde, specifically through mutable fire sign Sagittarius, has everything to do with the power of belief, which can work for us or against us, based on our personal and individual mindset. This Mercury retrograde, conjunct Vertex and Mars on the galactic center, which is fixed for the most part around 27 degrees Sagittarius, indicates a strong need to trust your gut, your intuition, and what your emotions may be trying to tell you. The hunter's arrow, the symbol for Sagittarius, points to higher ideals and the path to self-mastery as we travel toward higher consciousness. Just 2 weeks ago, we planted seeds of intention for an optimistic future under the new moon in Sagittarius on that 12/12 portal, kickstarting this Mercury retrograde, realizing what we're capable of and that if we can dream it, we can achieve it, which will essentially be the themes of the Mercury retrogrades for 2024, turning belief into reality, turning vision into reality. There is an opportunity this full moon to release old, emotionally fueled patterns and limiting beliefs that no longer serve our highest potential, the release of which leads to greater personal transformation. Cancer energy indicates a strong identification with one's family or ancestral line, its tendency to focus on the needs of other and its family over itself, and weak boundaries. Within family dynamics can lead to codependent dynamics, enmeshment, and independency and autonomy issues within familial systems. Patterns and ancestral karma related to this are coming up for healing at this time so that we can collectively lead into greater independence, autonomy, and self-sufficiency. Full moon features the planetary rulers, the moon for the moon in Cancer, and Saturn in Pisces, which is answering to Neptune in Pisces, for both the sun and Pluto, which intensifies in Capricorn, which I'll break down later on in the video in the deep dive section. It features a trine to an empowered Neptune in its last final third, 10 degrees decan of Pisces, indicating a strong Neptune and Pisces influence between now and really into Pisces season, March 2023. Shh. Kiwi, sit. Shh. So let's dive in. Capricorn's opposite sign or polarity is Cancer, which is ruled by the moon. In Capricorn, we have the sun 4 degrees, just following the winter solstice, which featured the sun 29 degrees Sagittarius answering to a weakened Jupiter. Opposite its ruler Venus, debilitated or weakened in Scorpio. This is a shift in energy away from expansive, adventurous, and optimistic Jupiter-ruled Sagittarius energy and into a much colder and more disciplined, reserved, restricted, detached, stoic, boundary and power, rule-loving, Saturn-ruled Capricorn energy. We also have Pluto there, intensifying the energy, especially at that critical Plutonic 29th degree, a point of complete destruction and breakdown. 4 degrees is a degree point associated with sensitive, nostalgic, homebody, and security-focused Cancer energy, symbolizing a need for deep reflection on the past. Cancer, to heal and inform how we'd like to build or shift moving into the future, the age of Aquarius. With the moon representing our emotional body, who we already are, at 4 degrees Cancer, this is like a triple dose of Cancer energy. The moon in Cancer in its sign of rulership, and therefore strong, began at 4 degrees, the degree point associated with Cancer energy, further strengthening the Cancer energy influence. Cancer energy, like we said, is symbolized by the glyph of the crab. The crab walks sideways. It has claws that cling and a hard exterior with its soft interior belly, symbolic of a tendency to hold on to painful emotions and past resentments, and a deeply sensitive internal nature. The full moon indicates that there is a completion or closure, and in the sign of Cancer, matters may be coming to a head for us emotionally, especially as a truth or revelation comes to the light of consciousness. There may be a resolution to something that allows for more retreat and rest at home, and a deeper appreciation for one's home and family. There is truly no place like home for the holidays. Consider the sun a spotlight of energy, and the sun represents the focus of our collective identity, how we see ourselves, our egos. So when the sun is in Capricorn, we all feel like Capricorns, especially with Pluto, the destroyer, sent to break down anything that isn't in alignment with higher consciousness, there to intensify the energy. And in stoic, reserved, all business Capricorn, it's breaking down misuses and abuses of power, especially in Capricorn related things. Politics, government systems, big business, corporations, work environments, and the stock market's influence on our greater global economy. This is working against the emotionality and feelings of the moon as matters come to a head emotionally. Moon in Cancer is feeling particularly moody and emotionally sensitive. It longs for the past and has a deep nostalgia for it, and it's highly focused on its security, secure borders, home and family, the homeland, and its own emotional security and stability. While the sun with Pluto, 29 degrees Capricorn, spotlights financial security and a need to be prudent. Since Saturn is the planetary ruler of both Capricorn and Aquarius, Saturn will be a major planetary figure as we proceed into January and until mid-March 2024. As the sun and Pluto travel together, following Pluto's Cazimi on January 20th and January 21st, and ushering us into the age of Aquarius officially January 22nd, 2024. Aquarius energy is all about collective humanitarianism and evolving for the better, uniting through this collective consciousness to create a more equitable society. And Pluto is tied to the word apocalypse, which translates for revelation, which comes from the Greek word for unveiling. I'll put out a more specific video about Pluto in Aquarius, but here's the link for the video I put out last year when Pluto first dipped its toes into 0 degrees of Aquarius last March. Remember that 0 degree point is the purest form of that sign's energy and a great introduction for it. Some of these Pluto and Aquarius themes that we'll see over the next 20 years include, but are not limited to, the ethics and costs behind our dependencies on instant gratification and materialism. For example, cobalt mining in the Congo, which is where our cell phone and EV battery components come from. What if we didn't need to have individual personal, and some of us, including myself, multiple personal vehicles and had more reliable public transportation at our use? And what if our phones weren't just for mindlessly scrolling through the internet, but tools for expanding consciousness and reaching our highest collective potential? For the age of Aquarius, Pluto in Aquarius, we will find ourselves reflecting on the true cost, both foreign and domestic, of doing business involving fossil fuels, both on the environment and people, especially when it leads to things like war. We're looking at the true cost behind fast fashion, the exploitation of sweatshop labor, and cheap labor via outsourcing. Reflect on the environmental costs of instant gratification and materialism. See greater diversity and inclusion, especially in the workforce, and especially for people who identify as neurodivergent. Women's rights issues will come to the forefront of our attention. It already has been, but gender identity, legal access to abortion, and we'll see a continuance of protests and fights for greater sovereignty, independence, and a preservation of one's personal freedoms and liberties within the context of their own surroundings. The major difference between this year's full Cancer moon and last year's full Cancer moon, aside from occurring in the month of December this year instead of January, is the influence of Saturn in Pisces versus Saturn in Aquarius, where it was this time last year. Saturn in Pisces answers to an empowered Neptune in its final third, the final 10 degrees of Pisces, making Neptune the more powerful planet that Saturn and anything under Saturn's influence, so anything in Capricorn or Aquarius, would be reporting to. It will get worse before it gets better, after a complete fallout or destruction to world powers, possibly currencies, gender identity, women's rights, overall role in society, and our means of communication, our use of social media and the media, and overall social order. But out of that fall of globalization and nationhood may emerge a renewed unity through advancements in technology, agriculture, and value systems that are not limited by artificial borders. In the age of Aquarius, we may see a heroic and much needed resurgence of actual and authentic creativity and innovation. We will see the control of intellectual properties wrested away from corporations in the top 2% and returned back to the original creator. Pluto in Aquarius versus Pluto in Capricorn is all about power shifting away from that top 2% and back into a more equitable distribution to the people. There are new technologies emerging that will become dominant mediums of the century, especially under the alignment of Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus in April 2023, just prior to Jupiter's journey through Genius Gemini for the next year after Jupiter's cazimi. We can look to the children of Pluto and Sagittarius born between 1995 and 2008, aka Generation Z, as they come into power and personal empowerment, bringing a revitalized sense of optimism and possibility, personal empowerment, outspokenness, and an opportunity for change, especially toward greater social integration and integrity. By the end of January 2023, we will be freed from Capricorn's obsession with tradition, money, power, the past, and structured order, shifting into Aquarius, which will allow us to focus forward on the future. Phones, data, and social media are currently merely tools of surveillance and advertising, controlled by plutocrats, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, and Donald Trump. However, Pluto in Aquarius offers an opportunity to confront these plutocrats and wrestle more control of our individual lives, especially as it relates to streams of information and our access to them. Let's review some themes for the full moon in Cancer. Upholding boundaries with self and others, things that we accepted or turned a blind eye to prior to this full moon will not be tolerated in the future. Creating more routine and structure in our daily lives by being more intentional with our daily habits. We may be experiencing breakthroughs in an area of life that we've been putting consistent effort and energy toward. How to work with the energy. We mentioned at the beginning of the video that the name for any full moon occurring in December is the cold moon, long night moon, and the oak moon, due to it coinciding with the winter solstice, which is the shortest day and longest night of the year, initiating winter here in the northern hemisphere. December full moon gets its name from the extreme cold that's characteristic of this final calendar month. Winter is a time of hibernation, when we slow down, pause, rest, reflect, and retreat into the comforts of home, not only for warmth, but for relaxation and rejuvenation. As we reflect and prepare to set impactful intentions for the new year, the December cold Cancer full moon wants you to look for warmth as you fan the flames of your internal passions and reflect on what sets your soul ablaze and whether you're living in alignment with that. The first step here is in identifying what lights you up from within and then grounding down through your intentions, routines, and consistent daily efforts over time to turn that dream into a physical reality. High vibe Capricorn is reserved, detached, ambitious, organized, meticulous, stoic, and hardworking. Although it will never show or admit it, it's deeply sensitive underneath the layers of emotional armor that it likes to hide behind. In contrast, low vibe or egoic Capricorn is power hungry, controlling, overly critical, and nitpicky. It can be pessimistic, focusing too much on restriction, causing it to manifest negative results. It can see relationships as stepping stones, putting it in a position where it may use or manipulate others for greater personal power power or gain. Due to overly rigid emotional boundaries and a fear of being emotionally manipulated, Capricorn energy can have trouble displaying empathy and compassion for others. Due to strong tendencies toward emotional avoidance and tendencies to work hard to attain power and positive recognition for said hard work, Capricorn energy can be prone to patterns of workaholism and burnout characterized by weak boundaries in the workplace, causing it to burn the candle at both ends, neglecting things like self-care. And now for the tarot cards associated with the energy. For Cancer energy, we can look at both the 4 and 5 of Cups. First, the 4 of Cups. The young lady depicted in this image has 3 empty cups and 1 full cup at her fingertips. However, she is unable to see or receive the full cup because she is overly fixated on the 3 empty cups beside her. In the 5 of Cups, there's a similar imagery with 3 empty cups, 1 cup spilling down a drain, which is where the protagonist is focusing her energy, and 1 full cup, just a mindset shift to her right. For Capricorn energy, we have El Diablo, the devil. The devil represents anything that holds power over us, such as our addictive tendencies and our limiting mindsets and belief. But as we look at the 4 and 5 of Pentacles, you'll see that you alone have the key. In the traditional Rider-Waite version of the tarot deck, there is an Adam and Eve figure with a noose around their neck under the control of the devil. But you'll also notice the noose is large enough for Adam and Eve, the male and female, divine collective, to release from their own imprisonment. The 4 and 5 of Pentacles both speak to a lack mentality. In the 4 of Pentacles, a wealthy young lady, divine feminine, is holding on to her wealth. She is not sharing the abundance via generosity and an open heart. With the 5 of Cups, we see someone caught up in lack mentality. There are 5 pentacles on the door. The door is locked. She is unable to open the door. However, the key is right there, within grasp, just out of reach. You alone hold the key to shift out of that lack mentality and into one of abundance. Capricorn, in contrast, is a cardinal or initiating earth sign ruled by Saturn. So what new structures, routines, methodologies, habits, or disciplines could you implement for greater grounding and greater overall success and happiness? A disciplined mind leads to happiness, while an undisciplined mind leads to unhappiness. That is by the Dalai Lama. Physical problems related to the full moon in Cancer can affect our stomach, our hormonal systems, our digestive systems, and our emotions and our breasts. Under the full moon in Cancer, be still, reflect, and meditate. Mercury is still retrograde and in the process of changing signs, which is symbolic of a change of direction, mind, or heart, especially as it relates to our long-term goals and plans for our careers. Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius wants you to focus on the big picture and pay careful attention to your mindset. Remember the power of belief, which has a tremendous ability to either work for or against us, based on our individual mindset. As you're reflecting on the past, be mindful of any limiting belief patterns you may be holding on to. As they surface, try to trace back their potential source, which can usually be traced back to childhood or prior trauma. Stay in the past just long enough to bring it into the light of consciousness so you can transmute it, but not so long as to dwell on any poison. Focusing too much on the past or any negative feelings, resentments, etc. can cause us to attract more negative energy and therefore miss out on future opportunities, blocking our ability to recognize and receive them in the first place. Lean into greater spirituality with Saturn and Pisces. You can create a vision board, list your intentions. You can do this on a note in your phone. It doesn't have to be a formal vision board or a formal journal. Organize your long-term goals and your finances. Embody the stoicism of Capricorn and Aquarian energy and do not attach to outcome. Flow should feel easy and smooth. Anything else is restriction, and your intuition is trying to tell you that that may not be right for you. If you enjoy working with crystals, you can add fire agate, which increases passion, reigniting us with our deepest desires, and smoky quartz, which is usually associated with Capricorn energy and karma, helping to cleanse and clear out any underlying karma. Also, be sure to do a thorough cleaning of house, especially in the sign of Capricorn. Dust that settles and collects is symbolic of karma collecting in one's life, so regular cleaning helps keep this, and regular conscious practice, symbolic of this too, helps clear this clutter and karma out for cleansing. Mercury Retrograde is also a great time, and in the sign of Capricorn especially, to clean house. Focus on Marie Kondo method. Focus with gratitude on what no longer serves and release it. Maybe there are some items you could clear out that would be better appreciated by somebody else. I have some journal prompts for you. What are my goals and intentions for the future? List out both your short-term and long-term goals to help you prioritize. Where could I uphold better boundaries with myself and others for more balanced, mutually receptive, and respectful interpersonal relationships? Where could I create more routine and structure in my daily life for greater grounding, accountability, stability, and long-term success and happiness? Am I building my own dreams or someone else's? Am I honoring my dreams, aspirations, and true life calling? What does my heart and spirit need more of to feel full? In what ways could I show myself more grace, love, and self-compassion? When I allow myself to feel what is my heart's truest desire, do I allow the opinions of others to affect or otherwise control and disempower me? Where might I be hiding or dimming my true authentic light out of fear of ridicule, criticism, or outshining an older sibling, parent, or person in power? And now for some affirmations. Today I live for myself. Today I release all grudges that hold me back from attracting positivity, abundance, and opportunity. Today and every day I am the master of my own life. Today and every day moving forward, I add positive energy to the collective by leading with an open heart and mind instead of reacting to the negative energy or otherwise feeding it or engaging in gossip. When I err, I do so with grace because I know that I will learn from the lesson, pivot, and I can always try again. Thank you for tuning in. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. When you comment, I would love to hear where you're tuning in from and what, if anything, resonates for you from this video. I'd also love to know any astrology placements you have. If you've taken anything of value from this video, then I suggest you check out these additional videos here.